Hello, readers! Welcome to our Read Aloud lesson today. Today's learning target is I can find kindness in narratives. That has two big words in it. The first big word is kindness. The word kindness means things that people do for one another that make others feel good or lifted. Things that are nice to do to one another. This week, we're going to be reading lots of books that show examples of kindness. And we're going to respond to those books in this little teeny tiny notebook called Kindness. This little teeny tiny notebook is inside of your paperwork folder in your distance learning box. And while you listen to the story today, you can have this little book in front of you so that you can draw what you see or observe about kindness in our story. I can find kindness in narratives. Now, what are narratives? Well, they're stories that we tell. A narrative is a story about something that happens. And our narrative story today is called Pet Show. It's a story about a little boy who brings an unusual pet to the pet show. Well, aren't all books storybooks? No, they aren't. This book is not a narrative. This book is called Caves, and this book tells just information about caves in the world, but it does not tell a story. Today we're going to read a story or a narrative called Pet Show. And as I read, you'll be looking for examples of kindness. Pet Show, a story by Ezra Jack Keats. Pet Show. This kind of gives us the setting of our story. Pet Show, prizes, prizes, Saturday at 11. Everyone was talking about the pet show. The kids told each other about the pets that they would bring. Matt said that he would bring ants. I'm going to bring my mouse, bragged Roberto. What are you going to bring, Archie? The cat? Uh-huh, said Archie. The next day, they all got ready for the pet show. Where's the cat? Archie called. Anyone see the cat? Archie and Willie looked in the cat's favorite hangouts, while Peter and Susie searched up and down the street. No cat. Archie's mother came to the window. Where can the cat be? He asked her. You know how independent he is, Archie. You never know when to expect him. Oh, but I expect him now. It's time for the pet show. Maybe he's inside somewhere. Archie ran into the building. After a while, he came up to the window. I can't find him. I've looked all over the place. You'd better start without me. Gee, we sure are sorry, Archie, said Peter. So long, said Susie. So they're starting the pet show without him. They got to the entrance. A lot of people were already there. Just then, Roberto's mouse took off running. Willie chased the mouse. Roberto chased Willie, Peter chased Roberto, Susie chased Peter, and the show started. Line up with your pets, please, the judges said. They walked up and down, looking carefully at every pet, asking, how old is your pet, and what's your pet's name? Everyone got a prize for something. There was the noisiest parrot, the handsomest frog, the friendliest fishes, the yellowest canary, the busiest ants, the brightest goldfish, the longest dog, the fastest mouse, the softest puppy, the slowest turtle, and many more. As the last prize was being awarded, someone shouted, oh, look, there's Archie. Does it look like Archie has his cat? I don't see a cat. what he brought to the pet show. "Hello, you're just in time," a judge said to Archie. "What's in the bag?" My pet." "May I see it, please?" At that moment, the cat showed up. Of course, too late, right? The other judge called out, "A blue ribbon to the nice lady for the cat with the longest whiskers." And before anyone could say anything, he pinned a blue ribbon on the old woman and then came back to Archie. So he didn't get his prize for his cat. What was in that bag? I see a little jar. It looks empty. "What kind of pet have you got in that jar?" the judge asked. Germ," answered Archie. What's your germ's name?" asked the judges. Archie thought for a moment. "Al," he said. The judges whispered to each other. Psh, 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 psh. You think he'll get a prize? "A blue ribbon for Al," the judge said. "The quietest pet in the pet show." So Archie got his blue ribbon after all. And as everyone was leaving, the old woman came over to Archie, the old woman who had the cat. "He's really your cat, isn't he?" she asked. "You should have the blue ribbon." "Aw, it's okay," said Archie. "You keep it." And he just ran off to play with his friends. So she was going to give the blue ribbon to the boy, but he said, "That's okay. You can keep it." They passed the old woman on their way home. "Thank you for the ribbon," she called. Archie smiled. "It looks good on you. See you around." "See you around," she said. Ah, that is kindness, isn't it? The end. This story is called The Pet Show. What did you write in your kindness book about how kindness was shown in this narrative? Here's my picture. In my book, I drew 3 examples of kindness from the narrative. Next to the number 1, I wrote, "We'll wait for you," because that's what Archie's friends said to him when he couldn't find his cat. And I thought it was kind that they would wait for him. The second example is that the judges gave Archie a prize for his pet germ, because the germ isn't really a pet, and I think they gave him that prize to be nice. And then my third example is when Archie let the old woman keep his prize, or keep his ribbon, and then he made a new friend that way. So these were my 3 examples of kindness from the story. You might have just found 1 example or 2 examples, and that's okay. But if you remember something about kindness from the book, you can put it on that first page in your kindness journal. And we'll be using this all week. Our learning target today is I can find kindness in narratives. And our reading response is to draw an example of kindness in our green little mini notebook. When you are done drawing your example of kindness, come on back and watch the Independent Reading Strategies video right next to this one. Okay, so do your book, then watch the next video. Good job, learners!